me, Spirit Journey. Yes, today is Friday. Boy, did it go fast this week. Today is Friday. May 22, 2021. I hope I got the date right. And the time is now 5:22 a.m. in the morning. This beautiful, beautiful New York City day, Friday. Yes, the title about change, embrace it. You can't avoid it. I felt led to do this video. I think it's actually started yesterday. I said to myself, I think I want to talk about this experience. Yes, I think it's very important. And yes, I have been slowing down in my uploading videos, whether it be live or just regular videos. Yeah, and that would talk about change too. Life is about change. And that's what I want to talk about. Me and change. Yeah, you can't avoid it. I can't avoid it. Like they say, there's two things in life you cannot avoid: taxes, what's that? Taxes and death. That's the only thing that's, about constants. The only thing that's constant is change. Yeah, it's embedded in this system. I hear the little birds in the background. Yeah, just they started chirping about 22 minutes ago. I love to hear the sound of the birds chirp. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go out right now. I'm not sure if I'll go out today. I may. I'd like to discuss some experiences I had as it pertains to change. Change could be spooky. We were born, we start out as little infants, toddlers, preteens, then young adulthood, and then, our senior years. Life is about change. And I think this society that we live in, that they make you think. I mean, you raised to kind of think that everything stays the same. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, I invite you to say hello in the chat room and don't be shy. Yeah, life is about change. And I want to again talk about that. Like, I see this whole setup. We think everything stays constant. We may even think that the clouds stay still. Everything's always in motion, even the clouds, even the earth's crust changes. You get one of those cameras that could could like every X number of minutes it takes a picture. But when you see it in sequences, the pictures, you see that there is change. Change is always occurring every second. The ground, right? We're going in New York City, we're going into summer. And what's that, Labor Day? Labor Day is the official, what's that? The unofficial beginning of the summer season. Yeah, this Monday, I think it's Labor Day. Yeah, this coming Monday. So everything's going to be happening. Yeah, the beginning of the summer season where people just want to go out and get wild. Yeah, life is about change. And this part of the hemisphere, we have four seasons, four major distinct seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. And, we have our favorite seasons, right? And sometimes we wish that it doesn't change, but it does. So embrace it, because nothing is constant, and that is a constant. Change is a constant. It's one of those paradoxes that occurs. Yeah, I hope you guys could hear me too, and make sure that the audio, sorry, make sure the audio is on, the volume is up all the way. So, so what happened to me yesterday? Yeah, boy, even with this, how you process information. Yeah, actually, it started 2 days ago. That's right, it was 2 days ago. Well, 2 mornings ago, I had waken up at my early hour because I try to go to bed earlier. So I'd get up earlier and just do whatever. But yes, as a reminder, I am recuperating because the week prior, I did kind of overdo do it. I did a lot of walking um, to the park. I mean, it was just like a half an hour there, half an hour back. But with change and getting older, is a change. Your body's never the same. You know, what you can handle at 21 is not the same when you're in your 50s. Believe me, people. So, yeah, I was, getting up early, leaving my place early in the morning to just avoid the rush because, I like these quiet hours. I love it. I enjoy these quiet hours to share with myself and my dogs and everything. Um, so yeah, I would get up early because it's also cooler in the early mornings. And my little doggy pack, they don't do as well in the heat in the sun. And with change, neither do I. I don't do as well in those intensity of the heat. The sun just baking on you. When I was younger, I didn't have any problem with the sun, the heat, really, when I go outside. It didn't faze me, really, you know. But now it does. Now that it does. I would say that the temperature, heat for me really, I would say started to change um, at menopause when that change of life occurs in women. Yes, yes. And that, no, and that, I don't want this to sound maudlin. I share this actually for enlightenment, to just see, um, life is about change, and it doesn't really prepare you to accept change, and we want everything constant. This is really about, I think, more of celebrating change so that you can adjust. That's what this is all about. But again, it's about discussing my journey in life about how to handle change. And again, I'm a new student, I feel, at this. But as I get an enlightenment of something, an awareness, I should say, I want to share. And that's why I'm doing this. So, yeah, I would get up early, um, get prepared, and have all my gear and head out. And I love it, actually. But as I said, my body's not some 20 something year old. And walking on pavement, these concrete jungles, after a while, the pressure on walking on this hard pavement, um, makes your muscles really tight, your joints, your ankles, your calves, you feel it. And even though I didn't walk that far, half an hour there, half an hour back, I felt tired. And then I got excited about this learning how to jump rope. Yeah, see, also when you get older, you start to reminisce about how you used to do this or that, or you wish that you did more of that when you're younger. And I was like thinking about, wow, jumping rope. And they had these professional jump ropes. And I was fascinated how these guys, in particular, jump rope with such expertise. And they have what's called weighted ropes, like these jump ropes have weight to it. The cable, it's like a metal cable inside, and it has a like a plastic shaft over it, and enables you to jump rope. It could be for speed. If it's the thin ones, it promotes speed jumping, and then that keeps you lean. And then they have the heavier gauged ones that build up muscle and endurance. So I bought both of them. Really excited, and I haven't like jump up in the air in ages. Even before I got it, I said, "Oh, let me see if I could jump up in the air." And man, I felt it. Yeah, yeah. Your body is not used to certain things, and I hear that sometimes jumping out, like they have these little mini trampolines. It's about like 2 feet wide or something like that, and you can do it in your house, and it's supposed to uh, do things with the joints and provide movement and um, cardiovascular, and it promotes wellness. So I say, hey, maybe get the jump rope. It looked fun, and I want to get in shape. Get trimmer, lose that little tummy fat. I wanted that. I had an image of me, how I wanted to look. I mean, basically, I'm okay. For my age, I'm 58 years old, and rather than hide it, just tell it. Yeah, I'm 58 years old, and I love to walk. My weight, I'm at a very healthy weight, but I could tone up in some areas. So, so I said, so it shouldn't be too difficult getting firmer. And so after my walk, walk with my dogs. So I was like outside for 2 hours, and then I come back and I said, hey, let me get my rope, my new jump rope. So I went on the roof. I did it for 4 days with the ropes, 4 consecutive days. With day one, boy, I didn't know how to jump rope, but I just did it, to get the feel of it. I did it within for half an hour, and but not constant because I jump for like 5 seconds and I have to stop, and then I walk around a little bit on the roof, and then I try it again. Okay. Then so I did that the first day. Then the second day, I used a pad to cushion the ground. Well, by day four, my body said no. I couldn't do it. I was too much in pain. My ankles were sore and my knees were hurting. So I said, okay, listen to your body because it's about change. Yep, my body didn't like it was too much. So I think what happened, I was my body, as you get older, your body needs more recovery time. You're going to hear that word a lot, recovery time with exercising, which really means the time it takes for your body to adjust and to feel better takes longer. And so for me, yeah, yeah, I did the jumping last week. Yeah, so my body's still recovering. Yeah, so I had hurt my knees, and yeah, my both knees were sore, but mostly the right knee and the left ankle. And I put these what do you call it? Oh, what do you call those ace bandage. Yeah, I saw on the internet how to try to recuperate with a sprain. Now, a sprain means like has to do with your tendons, and a strain, strain, strain that has to do with the muscles. So my issue was the tendons and the ligament. And well, what you do, you put, well, I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving medical advice, but what I did was I put the ace bandage on the joint that was hurting and I elevated it, above the heart. And it did work for me and it eased a lot of the pain. I didn't have a lot of swelling, but I had pain and it seemed to work. So I'm going to continue doing that. You do it for 10 to 15 minutes. I did, I should say, for 10 to 15 minutes. I had my timer on and then remove the bandage. I also use magnets also, these strong magnets, and attached it with it to increase the circulation. So I think especially the ACE bandage really helped ease the pain. So I was able to get more mobility and motion so I can get things done. Okay. Yeah, I know I'm kind of like getting off the track, but it's all about change and how one thing glides into something else. So I think that's why I'm really mentioning about this and to let other people know, hey, you're not alone. Our middle age that are out there, and even young folks could be going through. See, some young folks go through their change earlier. Okay, nothing's constant but change. So, so what else? So yeah, I've been recuperating now. So I started recuperating from what was that, mid last week till now. Uh, Trying to take care of my body. So I've been staying indoors this whole week, but I had to briefly, I had to get some groceries nearby. Um, and I also went out, yeah, after I got the groceries about, what was that, 3 or 4 days ago, I went and bought sneakers, these real cushion. There was some Nike. I went on the internet to find out what these professionals use for on their feet when they're jumping rope. Because I had used the Converse, the traditional Converse. They really don't have any cushion, whatever. And I think jumping up on a hard surface, man, you're gonna need cushion. And so I bought some. Um, I put it on this store. I walked home with it on, and I took it off when I got in the house. So yeah, so my body still needed recovery. So well, guess what? Well, so I was kind of like bedridden for a couple of days, uh, recuperating, recovery, and um, I know, yes, this happened 2 days ago. Since now I go to bed early and then I get up early. I had awakened 2 mornings ago, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm feeling pretty good. And then I was sleeping on my right side, and then I went to like yawn, just kind of like stretch it a little bit. You put your arms above your head and just kind of stretch and yawn a little bit, while I was on my right side, and all of a sudden I got dizzy. Yes, yes, yes. I got a little dizzy. And so I said, okay, this is the vertigo I had before. Yes, 3 years ago, around this time, 3 years ago, a big vertigo means getting dizzy. Vertigo, like the room is moving, the walls are spinning. Yes, that is vertigo. And that happened to me big time. Big, big, big time. My whole body felt weird. Um, and I went to the ER to make sure there was nothing, really major. Yeah, I had a vertigo uh, some years even prior to that. I think my first episode with vertigo, when the walls are moving and you're standing still, it happened. I think it could have been as early as 2005. I was sleeping on my left side, rolled on my back, and the room was moving. So I just stood, lied still. It took about a half an hour to, oh, you want to get out? Oh, my little doggy. Let me get my little dog. He wants to go out. Okay, let me just open the door so he can take care of his business. Yeah, I'm coming. There you go. See that? That's him. Let me get him. Okay. Okay, I'll leave the door open. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning, good morning. Yes, this is about change, change. Nothing constant. I mean, change is the only constant in life. So one of those paradoxes. So yes, so what happened now? Um, so yeah, I think the first episode of this vertigo, things like things in spinning, and you're standing still, um, happened in around. It could have been as early as 2005, and then yeah, I was on my back. I mean, on my side, rolled on my back, and the thing spinning. Half an hour, by half an hour, it's subsided. And to be on the safe side, I went to the ER, and they initially didn't know what was going on, and then they did this maneuver on my head, this like a whiplash movement. They moved the head real fast, uh, in a circular, and honey, everything was spinning. And so they said, okay, you got vertigo. So they did give me something. I'm not even sure if I used it because by that time, I was able to still move about, walk about. I think I had walked over there to the hospital, and everything seemed okay. But I wanted to make sure it wasn't some stroke or whatever. So fast forward, so that's around 2005, and then 2018, uh, last week in April. Yeah, the day after this wedding I went to, I had a fabulous time at the wedding. Yes, a relative of mine was getting married for the first time. I was really excited for this person. And then change happened. Well, let me tell you what type of change. Well, uh, I might have felt young in my body. Yeah. It was warmer than usual for April, the month of April. And um, I did hydrate. I knew about water, and I tried to hydrate. I knew I wanted to eat at the wedding, so I said, well, I need something in my tummy, and to get hydrated, but I didn't want to get too full. So I had a big piece of watermelon to stay hydrated. Um, Took the bus to the activity, and when I arrived, I did everything what everybody else does. I danced, I ate, I drank. Yes, I had some alcohol. Um, let's see. It was a long party. Yeah, it was it started real early around, I think, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it could have ended by 4 p.m. I know by 6 p.m. I was home, and I was home. Made my phone calls, had some tea, and just watched movies all night. I just couldn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep. I was just so excited. And get this, by 5 o'clock in the morning, I was finally exhausted and slept on this sofa in the living room. And 2 hours later, I awakened and I felt something was wrong in my body. I felt weak, uh, the vertigo, but it was that weakness. My whole system felt out of it. And I said, uh oh. Yeah, also, I have to say, my neck was kind of like propped, like kinked up, you know? It's one of those lounges that it almost looks like a dentist, those dentist chairs, you know? And so my neck is kind of scrunched up. So maybe the circulation, the pinch of the nerve, who knows? I needed medical help. And I needed to, I was like groping the walls and everything. And I knew I had to do this fast. I needed to get my dogs. Well, yeah, when you have little pets, this is my little baby one right there. Yeah, my Lily. Yes. And the others are under the bed right now. Yeah, when you become a mommy of little dogs, you know, and I commend these women, human mothers who all about their kids. I understand. So I have to make sure they get their water and food, at least their water. And I did it real slow because I was extremely dizzy out of it. And yeah, so I got downstairs. It's an elevated building, and they saw I was in distress. The people at the front door, the concierge and doorman, they ran and got me. I said, get an ambulance. So yeah, so the ambulance came, but yeah, they brought me to I'm a vet, and so they sent me to the VA hospital, Veterans Affairs Hospital, and in short, what she, the person that the doctor that examined me felt that I was dehydrated. She asked me to stick out my tongue. She says, "You're dehydrated." So she gave me 2 liters of the saline while I was there. And in hindsight now, because this is 3 years ago, slightly over 3 years ago, um, same type of thing. Um, I noticed that, like just lately, the weather seems to be shifting again, about change, getting warmer. I wake up early morning and my mouth feels like cotton balls are in there. It's like real dry. And so, let me put this down. Oops. So I hope you still can hear me. Yeah, I need to get my some more water. Yeah, I have to finish drinking this. This is my elixir that I got to drink. I want to finish it. Yeah, I try to hydrate first thing in the morning. So yeah, 3 days ago, 2 days ago, um, my mouth got real dry, was really dry, and as I was saying earlier, that I kind of like stretched out a little bit on my side, yawning, and the vertigo started. So I said, "Wow, I guess really I really am dehydrated. It's not just having a dry mouth." So I went to get some water to drink. Again, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. So I said, hey, let me get some water also for my dog. So I got my water, and then I filled up my dog's water bowl, and then I brought it in the bedroom with me. And when I bent down to hand it to them, I almost blacked out. The lights were going out, man. Yeah, it felt, the sensation was as if something went over inside. like a wave over your inside your brain, like a whoosh. And honey, I was going fast down on that floor, boy. I grabbed before I hit the ground. I grabbed on the bedpost. Let me show you the bedpost here. Yeah, see that's the bedpost right there, right by my little doggy. And that's my foot. I'm sorry. And that's my bike too. Yeah, it's clutter in this place. A lot of stuff. So, yeah, so I didn't get hurt. I grabbed it just on time. Um, so I was very concerned. And I'm still a little concerned right now because I feel a little dizzy in my head, just a little. So I'm trying not to move my head a lot. So I felt because those two phenomena went on the vertigo with the room moving and then bending down and you feel that the lights are going out. It's as if someone's pulling a plug on you, pulling it out. So I said, let me just make sure nothing's going on. But I know it's something with my neck. So um, I did go to the doctors. Uh, I got there relatively early. I got there like 11 o'clock, a little bit after 11 in the morning. And I leave at 11 in the evening. I had fallen asleep there, waiting for the test results. They gave me a CAT scan first, then they gave me an MRI, and then they also gave me an EKG. And each like they told me, yeah. So this is what the deal was with my exam. What? See if anybody there. Yeah. So this is what the deal was. What they were telling me. When they reviewed the CAT scan first, they said they see something abnormal, something with the aortic arteries, and they're afraid that if it's what they think it is, this is would require surgery. So I was nervous. I was scared. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I was scared at that point, anxious. And then, well, they gave me something to relax me a little bit, and that helped. Actually, that helped. Um, I think it distracted me. Either way, they gave me something to um, kind of like to calm me down a little bit. So yeah, because I don't like MRIs. I was scared. I was to have that about a little over a year ago, a year and a half ago. Yeah, it was the beginning of COVID. Yeah, for the same problem for my neck. Because sometimes, like what happened a year and a half ago, um, I I was walking and I was just looking at the signs and I almost blacked out. And this happened several times. Like I did, like you feel like you know lights are out. So I said I better check this out. I know it's something with the neck because each time you just slightly moving the head back a little bit, and that's it, man. So what else happened now? Um, yeah, so they gave me the thing to relax me. Um, and then they put yeah, everything happened so quickly, and I was able to manage it. Yeah, the MRI, it worked. I'm surprised that it worked. The relaxant, but I went through it, and I was so proud of myself. Yay! I gotta say that. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself that I survived an MRI. Um, yeah, they just did up my head and my neck, and then they also gave me EKG. But they said, we got to wait for the doctors and all this and that, you know. Um, and I would take little naps while I was waiting. Now it's like after 9 in the evening. I said, hey, I'm still waiting for the doctors. And I need to know because I have my little dogs at home. actually. There's one of three of them. That's my little doggy. Yeah, I gotta get home, so I gotta feed them. So, so what's going on? Well, to make a long story shorter, I said, look, so from 9 o'clock to 11, I said, hey, I need to know what the findings are. Do I need the operation? What's going on? What are the findings? So I said, um, I'm just gonna go. So they said, oh, you can't go, because it's dangerous and blah blah blah. I said, I have dogs at home. They gotta eat. They gotta drink. They're little ones, and they have to eat. Their metabolism is high, and I don't have anyone to do it for me. So I just picked up and left. I took a taxi there. I mean, back home. And I'm glad I did, because see, there was no, yeah, they also told me by 11 o'clock that there were no doctors. The doctors had left. Like they had the doctor on call, but the neurologist and all that staff, they left. So why the hell am I there? They can't do any decision making, nothing. So one thing I learned about this, why I'm sharing that aspect, is that you have to always be on your toes with the hospital, because again, a hospital is an institution. It's big, and there could be a lack of communication. First communication glitch was when I came in, they were to do the CAT scan right away. But one of the two, they only had two machines, and one of them was broken, and it was a long line for the CAT scans. They said, we'll notify you to come up when it's available. Well, they were trying to contact me, through the nurses for 2 hours. They said, we didn't know where you guys went. We tried to contact you, no one came. Oh, I was angry. So that's 2 hours of my time wasted waiting for an important exam. And oh, they just somehow there was a communication, whatever. So, what I should have done, because they said it's a long line, what I should have done after 15 minutes, said, could you check? Yeah, do that in increments. And I know people that you might be considered a pain in the you know what, but see, they make mistakes. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Thank you for the thumbs up. I see that now. Yeah. So I'm sharing this so that you don't have to go through the same thing, because change is a constant. And when you deal with humans, messages aren't passed on, or people assume the other person heard you, but they may not. So you have to periodically interject and make sure that the communication is still working. Hey, is it time to come up yet? Come up there yet for the CAT scan? We're still waiting. You know, and I was waiting. They said for 2 hours. They said we were trying to contact you guys. So that's the first lesson. A major lesson when you're there in a hospital waiting. Yes, uh, in hospital in any health institution, there's always waiting, but a lot of waiting is wasted time because of that communication that's failed in the process. And so you have to periodically, every 10 minutes, 15, you gauge it, 15 minutes, that should be done. And to let them know that, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, you know. And your body does the same thing. Let's say you didn't eat for a couple of hours. What does your tummy do? It growls, right? Hello. Does it? And am I right there? Viewer. Please press a one for yes if you understand what I'm saying. Does not your stomach growl when it's hungry? It's communicating with you, and it wants to make sure you hear it because it's hungry. And if you don't feed it, it's going to continue growling. So, so because someone may not have uh, ate and not listen. So it gets louder and louder, people, right? It gets louder and louder. So same as with your body. When my body was telling me, hey, you were attempting to jump rope for 3 or 4 consecutive days, and my joints are getting want a break. So I'm gonna give you a little pain to communicate with you to stop it. Okay, that is change. I'm not a 20-year-old. I'm not a teenager. Yeah. So so what else happened now? So the what's that now? Yeah. So I finally get the CAT scan done. And you notice what else would change? The equipment at these government places. They there was no, with the wheelchair, there's no thing to put your feet on. So you have to have your feet elevated, so it doesn't drag on the floor and get caught in things. So they have a lot of mm, um, broken equipment when you go to the VA hospital. Yeah. So, what else now? So yeah, so I got the initial info regarding the CAT scan, and then they gave me the MRI with the sedation. Not sedation, but something to relax me a little bit, to calm me down, and it worked beautifully. What else? Um, then yeah, the EKG. So yeah, so I had to leave because I had to feed my dogs. And again, it didn't, like, oh yeah, when I was about to leave, the doctor on call says, "Hey, you can't leave. Don't leave because it's dangerous. And any, got a aneurysm, and anything can happen with the aneurysm. And then, your heart, your EKG was irregular, and blah blah." So they made me sound like I was a walking dead person, man. That anything, I could just drop dead at any second. But either way, you pet owners out there, you understand who's gonna feed the little dogs, right? Someone has to feed them, whether I have an aneurysm or not. I have to get home and feed my dogs. I had the water bowl out there, but with doggies, things, again, it's hotter than usual, and it could have evaporated anything. And I'm out all day. They need, these type of dogs, the lap dogs, they need companionship. They're not things that you can just, you know, leave alone for long periods of time. It's not advised. So I took that risk, and I took a taxi home. And I had told I would come right back. Well, I said to myself, well, there's no doctor there. They cannot give me any information. They said that they'll start arriving at 7 o'clock in the morning. So stay here, sleep with my dogs. I was gone all day, and then give them the breakfast in the morning, and then go. And try to find someone who can watch my dogs. Yeah, yeah. This thing about change is that and it's something very important that you have to iron out. Now, those of you who don't have anyone living with you, you really do need a backup. What if something happens? You have to go to the hospital, or meet with someone. Something happens. Who's going to take care of them? Or just just temporarily, at least feed them, um, clean after them, um, you're going to need that. You are going to need that. So maybe I'll go on the internet. This is very important. Go on the internet. What do you do with an emergency, is there some type of insurance that you can even pay for in case of things like this? If to have someone to just watch them a little bit, to just keep them safe while you're in the hospital. Yeah, one thing, yeah, it could be very trying. This is very important, especially during this COVID time. There are people, I learned that another person I know was actually sick, someone from my building. They said they were having heart problems last year with COVID, around in April, again, around the same time this year, last year. Heart problems and other things. She was scared. She has someone there, lives with her. But wow. So yeah, so with the COVID, a lot of people were getting sick. And they say you're normally healthy, everything's cool, but things happen and you have to adjust. Everybody. And so this life change is telling you, okay, you have to, you need a backup. Yeah. There are people who, anything could have happened. And you have your pets. So yesterday when I had gotten up early, because see, I needed to research what I could do, what services I could pay for. Yeah, I need some type of connection. So I went on the internet about what do you call it? Uh, Pet sitting. And there's a glitch in that also, that system. Well, there's no like everything is internet. So it's not like to telephone the person, you have to like type in the information, all your particulars, and then it's more like an email. And and then they wanted your money situation. So before you even find out whether the person is available, they want you to put your financial, how they're going to collect the money. I'm not going to do something and then you can't get it back. And you just want to find out, hey, could you do X, Y, and Z? I pay for your time. And it did not allow to put multiple pets. It only allowed one section to one pet, but they had a notes section. So in the notes, I put in the info of the two remaining dogs. So yeah, this is something I have to do. I have to develop a backup system in the neighborhood. I have to make that network. Yeah, gosh, I have to do that now. And a lot of these people, I mean, I'm just going to say it. A lot of the people that are left behind in New York City, a lot of the rich and older, they left. So it's just leaving the 20, 30 something year olds who are into these, what do you call it? What do you call that thing? Social media. And I see that there seem to be a lack of maturity in them. They lack maturity. Everything is about now, now, now. And if you watch them, and sometimes I even catch myself, I'm including myself at times too. I catch myself and others just staring at their cell phones on the internet. They're not doing anything, but they're just watching it all day. You walking past a restaurant, everybody is looking on their cell phones. And so, how to get help? The younger folks now, they have a different mindset. They don't have a work ethic that I'm comfortable with. And so, how to get reliable help, I should say. It's spooky. And again, this is change. This is about change. How do you navigate in a computerized world and you need, like, it's supposed to be quick, 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 the internet. But in its quickness, it's slow. You know how many times you might, like, text someone or even phone them and they claim they don't get it? Okay. So it's really not helping. It's just bombardment, but it's insufficient. So again, this is about change. That everything seemed cool, but then change happens. Life happens. So this is something also that you to consider in these times, that uh, you're going to go through certain changes, neighborhood changes. Where I live now, they have at least 4,000 homeless people were put into New York City. Now, I don't know whether those 4,000 was in my immediate area or throughout all of New York City. They did not specify. They did not specify. And there was another happenings in New York City. That same block where that lady got, Asian lady got mashed up, stomped on. Well, she's recuperating. So a nice little Filipino lady, 65 years old, with children. Yeah. She got stomped on by a man that lives in one of those hotels for the homeless. And that same man had been put in jail for about 15, 16 years because, get this, he had murdered his own biological mother. I'll repeat, he murdered his mother, his own mother. And then they let him out, I guess, to do probation or whatever. And so I think what he did to that lady, he has a hatred for ladies, not just Asian ladies. If you kill your own black mother, oh, excuse me, his own biological mother, you know, he doesn't care. Doesn't care about life. So, yeah, this is about change. And neighborhoods change. You can move in an area, and then the social environment can change, like a COVID, and with I call it a pandemic. It was designed to do this because it was an election year last year, and I think that's the only reason why they did this. Yes, people got sick and died, yes, but it was to destabilize a community, a nation. This pandemic was designed to disrupt a whole nation. So we're all interconnected. So change doesn't just happen with you, change is everybody. Change occurs simultaneous to everything because we're all interconnected. And that's also the point of doing this live stream, to let you know that what happens to you is not in a vacuum. I'll repeat, what happens to you does not happen in a vacuum. What happens to me will affect my dogs. My not being here because I'm in a hospital affects them emotionally. So that this is something that one has to consider as time changes. That you could feel independent and strong, and in a blink of an eye, your body could change. You're doing a little jump rope and you sprain your ankle, sprain your knee, anything, and then you get bedridden. Or the weather changes in this case because 2 nights ago, it was unusually hot in the room. And this caused me dehydration. Even though I was hydrated, uh, I drank water through the day. I had my 2 liters of water and a light meal. And I'm just indoors all day. Even that little change, that the night got hot. And I triggered something, and the vertigo slash dizziness happened to me. And in the blink of an eye, I could have hit my head. When just bending down to give have my dogs get their water, I almost passed out. What if I passed out in the by the tub? Because I have to fill up the water. Yeah, I get up early and do my routine. I put the tub on, fill up the tub. I could have fallen in the tub, right? Hit your head, anything. So now I have to be extra careful about how I'm going to do things because of change. And so, why is this important? See, we live in a society that teaches you that you want to stay young forever. You want to stay this forever, and it's unrealistic. How about people? You know what I see a lot on these people, these women doing these exercises to tone up their derriere. Well, ladies, change happens. And if someone is not going to like you because your derriere isn't like a youngster, and these are young women doing it, what I classify as young women, 20s, 30s, even 40s, want to feverishly keep what they have or make it bigger, right? Because they're afraid of change. Because, see, we learn in this society that change as it pertains to getting of a particular age slash elderly or getting old, so-called old, is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I I see that see you're not loved anymore because of your shape. Yeah, people want to get a peak or whatever. You know, real decent people is not want to try to get a cheap thrill. That's not being ladylike or gentlemanlike. Respect the present yourself respectable. You know, um, but respectability shouldn't be just how firm your body is. You know, it's what people do. What do you do? What do you do with others is important. And so, I'm going to get a sip of my brew. Let's see. I showed you before. Yeah, I got to drink more of it. It's settling on the bottom now. Let me get a few sips. Yeah. Yeah, this is important in life. About change. See, I do get afraid at times with change because it's more that what's going to happen. And as I said, death and taxes you cannot avoid. But with all these things, like people spending so much money because they don't want to grow old, we live in a society that does not respect change. Excuse me, it does not respect the elderly. And you know why? Because, see, it's a race for resources. And when you start to slow down in life, your enemies, your competitor, wants to take your resources. because now you're at a more vulnerable state, or a perceived vulnerable state, and that's when they're going to strike, right? You get a little older, and oh, they push you out the way, you're in the way, um, all these things. But what goes around comes around, and this is a fear-based society. This planet. See, I see now in life and seeing how change is occurring every minute and how we have to adjust. The inability to adjust, my inability to regulate my body, my equilibrium, so um, not to stand up too fast, not to sit down too fast. Everything has to adjust because if you don't do it, you know, carefully at times, you can crash, right? Like what almost happened to me 2 days ago. Almost blacked out as I just did a simple maneuver to bend down and put something on the floor, the water bowl for my dogs. We live in a society that does not respect change. It's afraid of change. Change also has to do with, as I said, resources, that they feel that the resources are going to change, meaning decrease, and they're going to be in need. This produces a fear mindset. Look in this neighborhood in New York City. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people now, those people who didn't lose their job, but maybe their work is now uh, done in their own home. So there's less people interacting with other people because they're stuck in their apartments. Um, the lack of jobs, people are trying to steal from other people. The police are being instructed to what they call stand down when they see a crime happen, but only if it's considered a serious crime can they intervene. And that's what a security person in security told me. Okay, this is awful, very, very awful. Change, change. You look in the mirror, you get a gray hair. You have tons of commercials that, and it's particularly targeting women. It's devaluing, it's saying your value is based on your looks. And notice something else with change and with women. Models, fashion models. Who are the fashion models? Are usually women. A very big market. They have more female models than male models. Because why? Because they are conditioning women in particular that her changing slash getting older is something to avoid. And why to avoid? Well, if you're not considered attractive anymore, your mate may leave you for a younger person, right? So, again, fear based. So they produce all these products for you, hair color, liposuction, and all those other things for the skin to make it look younger. But men get older too, right? But see, they target women that her value. See, they created a system and presented her value is based on looks and what happens to women. Women get pregnant. Women are going to be needing someone to take care of her when she's, have to stay home and breastfeed the kid, or she's still pregnant, and she can't, she's not as mobile, right? You need someone who is mobile and to help you out. Well, if it's a scarcity of men and other women who are competing for that man, even though you are a partnership with that other person, that man, some other woman want to take what you have. Or a man may want to take your man. Okay, anything can happen these days. So it's about change and the lack of resources and the fighting to maintain what you have and to obtain if the resources get lower. And so you walk around and wondering how you're going to get what you have. And so that's what COVID presented itself. This fear of losing your life. Yes, I know of people who last year in April who lost their life. It hit me close to home. It did. I was very frightened this time last year. Very frightened. Um, it's 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 a system that it's oh wow. It's just ingrained in it. You can't avoid it. The seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall. And you may have your favorite. I have my favorites. And it changes. And you can't do anything about it. Your body, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about change. No matter, in your mind, you might feel like you're like in your 30s or 20. You feel young at mind. But your body says, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that anymore. My body is changing whether I like it or not. And I have to learn to embrace it. Go with the change. And I think if I master this, you know, I think life would be a little bit more smoother. It is what it is. It is what it is. So that's what's happening. It's a system that is about change. And its change is happening even when you think it's not happening. Change. So why try to avoid it? Why, I don't color my hair. There are a lot of people that you see out there during this COVID when people couldn't go out to the beautician and you see the color of their real hair, right? They didn't want you to see that. They didn't want you to see their true hair color. But see, luckily, I was raised in a place household that hair coloring wasn't an issue. So for me, my hair, sometimes people say, "Oh, I see a gray hair," and they do that. Hello, they didn't need to do that. But it's ingrained in the culture that when they see someone showing signs of getting older, and getting gray hair is a big one in this society, I would say in most societies, it signals change and a very important change. So rather than trying to hide it, embrace it because you can't avoid it. And rather than seeing it as your enemy, just think, okay, it's a different change in life. Your body is saying in this realm that it's going, you know what I think? You know what I really think what's going on? See, life is dimensional, I believe. We live in this 3D world. And I really think as uh, as we start to shift, and shifting occurs from birth, but our bodies, once we take that first breath, we're actually on a decrease. Yes, you have a lot of cell division, when you're a baby and all that. But then there's a leveling off, and then there's a slowing down. Death begins at birth. See that? That's another paradox. And I think when we're moving, when we're growing older, that there is a shifting into another dimension. When we're leaving here, we're entering somewhere else. I believe that, like with people with Alzheimer's or dementia, that their consciousness is being blended with some other dimension. And when they get what you call disoriented, sometimes when they wake up from a sleep, they get greatly disoriented and frightened because their sense of awareness of who they are or where they are is compromised. And I believe sorry about that, the interference again. Interference happening. Okay, what I was just saying, yeah, see that this thing is acting up. See about change. As these devices get older, this is a notepad, uh, gets older, it doesn't function the same. So either way, like I believe with Alzheimer's and dementia, is really about the body, your who you perceive as yourself is switching over into other dimensions. Our focus. I think we have parallel lives, or that we're entering into other parallels as we get older. And when we awaken, like an elderly person who has dementia or Alzheimer's awakens from a sleep, their mind or consciousness might be in another dimension, another awareness. And then when they awaken from their sleep back into this dimension as they know it, it can be confusing to them. I think that's what's going on. But see, this society wants you so disconnected from your body. It doesn't want you to listen to the clues of your body. It teaches you to be afraid of your body, afraid of change, afraid of getting gray hair, afraid of having breasts that aren't as firm anymore, afraid of your skin not being smooth. All these things is about change. But change is a normal uh, development in life. It is inevitable. And yes, it could be beautiful and spooky at the same time. Change is beautiful. I want to see change as beautiful. And yes, now I have to be more conscious now because now it's a change in season. It's springtime going into summer. And with that, you're going to have change. Change in pollen levels, change in the sun. That some people cannot tolerate the sun. Maybe they're prone to skin cancer. That's another thing to be concerned about. Hydration levels. Did you get your water? Well, well, look at myself. I had water yesterday, that time, but there was a change in the environment. It got super hot in that early morning hours. When I awakened at 3 o'clock in the morning, I needed more water because change occurs. And with change, you have to be aware of that change and adjust yourself. Adjust yourself. It's a daily thing, change. Daily. Maybe you should have a t shirt that says change. Change is a constant in life. And that's what this system seems to be all about. How we handle change. things could be a blessing. Let's say someone gets married, and it was the person of their dreams, but change occurs. Someone might lose their job. Someone gets pregnant. So, and with those things come responsibility. And that thing that we call responsibility is about handling the change that occurs in life. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, life is about change. Beauty is beauty. But realize that when the thing that you see in front of you change, it's going to affect you. It's never really passive, and that's part of the illusion. Yeah, it seems like it's just happening to so and so or to such and such place, but when you have any change that occurs, it's going to also affect you in some way. Yeah. So this is a society that does not embrace change, and it doesn't teach you how to navigate during these change cycles. And now they're putting you to feel panic. Like they have this expression called global change. First, it was warming, global warming. Now, it's been, now they call it global change. The world's been changing from day one. It's changing daily. So, what do I mean by global change? See, that's just a pretense to control you so they can make new rules to regulate you. Yeah, more and more I see this world as a matrix, like in the movie The Matrix that came out in 1999. Yeah, this is a matrix. It examines, everything is so closely connected. And there's a time like, it seems like a time that it's telling you, okay, you had a lot of free time there. We're going to shift we need more energy. So you remember in the movie The Matrix was about using you as an energy source. So let's say a neighborhood you lived in, everything was fine. And then they put in 4,000 homeless people to live in your neighborhood. We're going to shake it up a little bit. It's getting too stagnant over there in that neighborhood. Well, we're going to lively it up. We're going to put in 4,000 homeless people during a pandemic. Oh, we're going to see what happens. Well, you saw what happened. You see what's happening. People are being mugged, beaten up, stomped on, robbed, all these things. They'll increase prices of things that you used to buy all the time. And all of a sudden now you got to pay a lot of money for something that you didn't have to pay a lot for. Yeah, and this is going to affect it. This is going to affect your income. Let's say you have a fixed income. I think this system is really designed to create a great, what I call a gradient. A gradient level is, like you have an uphill, downhill. When you have extremes, you have a gradient. Did you know, like your human body, what they call active transport? Active transport is about, if I remember right, from higher concentration to lower concentration. It's a flow of energy. It's designed in the system. Where you have a high concentration of something, it pushes it into the lower concentration of that thing. This is what causes a flow to occur. And only when you go against the flow from low concentration to high concentration, that requires active transport. Active transport meaning effort to almost push your way through. That requires a special amount of energy. Okay? And I think they want to create this gradient system to cause a flow and then to cause a buildup. When you withhold something, you create a buildup. Let's say things are coming in. You know, I have my fist. Things are coming in. It's getting filling up in your hand, and it gets tighter, 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 and then they let it go. That is a gradient, and that is being uh, uh, performed here on this planet, and definitely in New York City. This gradient is for a purpose. And I believe the system is relying on that change to create these gradients, this tension to orchestrate different flows of energy for their use at your expense. Isn't that something? So, yeah, I may not like that, but one thing, I don't want to be afraid. And yes, I was afraid when I had to go to the hospital yesterday. When I had a 2 days ago when I first entered, and when that doctor said, "Oh, you might have an aneurysm and that other the heart," and you bet I was afraid. But it turns out the guy was only the doctor on call was just saying that because he knows there's liabilities. But see, the law also says they cannot hold you. You could with what's that word? Refuse treatment. Yes, you can. Yes, know your rights. You can refuse treatment, and you can walk out of the hospital. That is your right. You can refuse any treatment and walk out. So, but see, if I get in an accident or whatever, there's also a liability because they're a large institution hospital that's supposed to know about risks. Because again, you're not a doctor, but they are. So he tried to scare me, and they can't do anything for me at that time. All the doctors, the neurologists, had gone for the day, leaving this guy, and he doesn't want anyone hurt during his watch. So he presented the information in a way to frighten me. And it turns out, according to the morning doctors, that was, that's not the case. See that? Yeah, I don't like that. See, I don't like people lying to me. But thank God that it wasn't as serious as they initially told me in the beginning when I first had the CAT scan. Yeah, embrace your body. Embrace the change that occurs in your body, people, because it is your friend. And they say that the body is not the real you. The body is a vehicle. Like you have a car, what's really of value is not the car so much, but the individual driving that car. The car is a tool. You are utilizing the tool. That is where the real value is. But see, this is an inverted world. Everything is inverted. So it gives value to the things and not the people who make those things. There is a worship for the thing and not the being that created it. The thing cannot create itself. The thing cannot operate itself. The thing needs human beings to run it. But they want you so preoccupied with things. Yes, I love nice things. And I'm thinking for myself, I've accumulated a lot of things. And maybe I should start getting rid of the things that that just occupying space. Yeah, the past, I would say 4 years. Let's see, from 2017. Yeah, the past 4 years. All of a sudden, I get all this things, things upon things, and then you cannot walk freely in your home because of change. When you bring something in, you should also bring something out. I think I should start doing that. There's a time for everything. We might have people who have acquired things, let's say when they in their young days, and when they see that object or thing, they remember times when, they were younger and everything. And it's something like a reminder of happier times, carefree times. But you haven't used it in years. It might even be broken, but it has sentimental value. Well, if you don't, and I think this is a science also. See, isn't this what cancer is all about? That, we all grow cells, but the cells forget to dismantle. And it grows and grows and grows, but it doesn't dismantle. That's stagnant energy. And I think what's happening in my little bubble here, it gets a little stagnant. And maybe I should start letting some things go. Letting things go. If you need it again in the future, maybe just get it then. But right now, maybe it's just a little bit too much. Or have it rearranged. Or getting a bigger place. Change could be, you could adjust to change in so many different ways, I see. But it's up to you to decide which method of adjustment would be best. Ideally, I would like a bigger place, but there's responsibility in that. It's stressful moving. So I don't know. But maybe a big solution is throwing out maybe at least half of the stuff I have. I think if I can get rid of 70%, I think I really would feel good. That's what I'm thinking. Um, it's just Clutterville. 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 If you haven't used something in over a year, I mean, even 4 years, shouldn't that be saying something to you? If you haven't used something in over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, isn't that a sign to say, hey, maybe you should get rid of it? Yeah, this is something I have to consider. And with when you get, let me tell you something, something more about in that line of thought. See, when you remove something, then you can replace it with something new to keep that refreshed state of mind, of thinking. But when you just keep on accumulating the old with the new, it gets like what they call in the military a clusterfuck. And that is a headache. When a clusterfuck happens, it's Mayday. It's not good at all. Yeah. Yeah, maybe this is a wake-up call that, hey, I may need to drastically remove things because it is creating a tension gradient. An intention gradient can explode on you drastically in forms of, let's say, you could trip over something, right? And you get hurt. Yeah. So sometimes life will talk to you. And life might just be saying, hey, you need to release some things from your life and bring in the new things. It's not about disrespecting and to be trendy, but what I'm trying to say is things have its season. It's not about those people who are just every year, every month, they're getting something new because they just feel like it. When something serves its purpose in use for your livelihood, for your edification, you could just give it away to somebody else. Let maybe someone else could be blessed by it. Yeah. Life may be about changing. Oh, yes, I feel this is true in my spirit. That what could be happening is attention gradient that needs a release, a safe release. Say, hey, you need to release these things. You need to get them out. It's becoming a tension gradient for you, and it could hurt you in the long run. You accumulated things, and like what's that thing? Feng shui, whatever how you pronounce it. That also is about energy, and it has to flow. That energy, it has to flow. So you get rid of things that suit its purpose, and maybe get something to replace it. That's okay. Something of of quality, of equal quality or superior quality. And yeah, you ever open up your closet and you pick up an item that you haven't worn in over a year, and don't and you might have washed it, ironed it, and hang it up. But if you don't use something after a while, it becomes stale. It actually starts to smell stale, like old air. That's because it is stale and old. The energy. Things require energy, movement. Wow. I'm really I'm ministering myself. Yes. Even your closet can speak to you and say, hey, it's too cluttered in here. You need to get rid of things. And one thing with things, you can always replace things. You can keep like one or two things, essential things, things that really work, that really is a tool, is an asset to you, you know? Yeah. I see that's what I need. Maybe it's not about my moving. See, I feel like I want to move because, the violence that's outside, but I have no guarantees about where you move to. I don't have any, there's no guarantee that to move into the so-called country. You even have in America all those places, what they call what we call the heart of America or the America's breadbasket. Don't you see they're doing those things are happening in those schools? I don't want to say the word over the internet and get this video flagged, but things are changing, and the breadbasket is changing. Things that happen in those little bedroom communities. Oh, yeah, it is happening. And you have to change in that. Yes, you have to change in it. And it's not being disrespectful. It's about, is it serving you? Is what's happening, is it serving you? You have to decide. I'm just looking in this room, and it's Clutterville. clutter. Maybe it's not about my moving. Maybe it's about relinquishing some of the things that are in my room. I've been in this place now for 18 plus years. 18 plus years. And much of this that I got is the things that I've gotten within the past 4 years. The past 4 years. And it might be just saying, hey, you got to let some things go. I know you like them, but you don't use it. It's occupying space and it's getting dust. You know what dust is? Dust means that it was a stagnant. It's a stagnant. See, dust only accumulates when things aren't moving about. So it needs energy, it needs circulation. Your human body tells you the same thing. You know, if you're stagnant, if you're sitting all day, uh, you can get bed sores, right? Because it's stagnant energy. See, you hear what I'm saying, people? You hear the point that I'm trying to tell you and tell myself. We're no different. What happens to the body is happening to things out there. If you sit stagnant for weeks and weeks, you can get a bed sore. If you're in bed, the blood stops circulating. You don't use it, you lose it. Wow. I think this is words to live by. Things in here, things that I have accumulated here, it served its purpose, but sometimes things have, like where things are. You can place something like, I have a monitor, but I have to turn my neck all the way over in one direction because I have it set up. But it's causing me neck pain, severe neck pain. So I don't use it as much. But where to put it? Because see, something else is in its place. Um, and the cord, you know, where to set it up, but the cord's not long enough. So either I have to modify this thing, you know, location, you know, or hey, maybe just move it. Yeah, life is about a constant change and it interacts with you passively and actively. And that feng shui, when that thing is in the middle of the room and you bang into it, it is not a flow of energy. Life is about movement of energy. And when you have resistance for too long of anything, it can be explosive. But I think you have beings out there that are relying on you to have this gradient of energy, energy harvesting, like a pump. And you're that pump for that energy, for them. Like in the movie The Matrix. Yeah. Isn't that something? So those, you know, even the, what is that, the 12-step program about, I mean, I have to paraphrase about those things that you can't change. You know, learn to accept those things you can't change. And those things that you can change, change it. So with me, what I can change in this world of mine may be telling me I need to get rid of stuff. Give it to somebody else. Maybe that, you know, they'll be blessed by it. You know, yeah, I do like to feel that I'm helping people. And yeah, you know, because see, I've been helped in life. And I want to be appreciative. So what may no longer serve you may be a gift for somebody else. And then let them be enriched by what you no longer need. You know, things that are safe. You know, those things that are broken. Uh, let them know it's broken. Just put in the garbage. But those things that are safe to use, let them have it and be blessed. Yeah, yeah. There's a time and season for everything, and yeah. So when the wave comes in, ride it, and if it passes, I say okay. You know, maybe another one would come in. But some people don't want to ride the wave. Some people may just like to look at the waves, and and if that's you, embrace that also. Embrace that. Embrace what is true about you and what needs to be changed. Try to change it if you can, or just accept it. you know. So yeah, uh, try not freaking too much about the changes that occurs. Yeah, this is I think about change, about navigating in change because change is what's constant. That's what life is about. Life is about change and being able to adjust in it. Yeah. Yeah, the more that I look in this place, the more I see that there is an energy stagnant that's occurring. And maybe that's what's happening with my body. I used to walk, 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 but maybe it's not, it needs a release in the form of maybe um, doing stretches after. Because again, exercise brings tension, tightness. I need to relax it, need to stretch it out, you know. So it's a give and take. It's a balance with the body. You exercise and then you stretch it out. If you're not stretching it out, well, you can get a spasm. Right? Right? Yeah. So, yeah, so I see it's 7 o'clock right now. And, yeah, I think I got at the essence of what I needed to say, and that, yes, life is moving on constantly. And what's happening outside could actually be a reflection on what's going on with you. Because again, we don't live in a vacuum. We are all interconnected. So this is another phase called life. And if you say you love life, you like the counterpart too. They both go hand in hand. You can't have one, you can't have life without death, and you can't have death without life. Embrace the two because we're all one. Yeah. So this is food for thought. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Again, I'm not doing as many live stream, a lot of anything right now. Again, I'm going through changes, and yeah, I have to navigate my life. And I told you about my neck. I have neck issues, and want to alleviate doing some of the video editings, so to preserve my neck. Yeah. It's all good, folks. It's all good. What happens to one happens to others. You are not alone. You are not alone. And that's the essence of this live stream. Okay? I thank you all for listening. Embrace you, embrace your body, whether you're young or old. We all go through this, and it's all a constant learning curve. Okay? Take care. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the health you do have. Enjoy your pets. Give them a hug and kiss. They need your energy too. Take care, guys and gals. Bye bye.